Welcome back to the Weekend Warrior Show Recap Podcast. I'm Ty from the Unemployed Architects. This week I had 3 shows. So I had Houdinis on Friday. I played at an event called Dos Vodania at Destihl with LeRoy on Saturday morning. And then Saturday night I played at Buzz Bomb Brewing in Springfield. So, pretty busy weekend ultimately. I think all the shows went pretty well. I know that last time I was talking about Houdinis and saying it was a hard room to kind of crack, and I feel like I did a better job with that this last time. I feel like I didn't really wear my in-ears like all weekend, and now I'm feeling like, oh, that's the way to do it. It's so funny how back and forth I go with that kind of thing. But I just played quieter and, didn't wear the in-ears the whole time, so I feel like, it was definitely smoother. But wasn't real busy or anything. It was kind of slow, but there was 7 to 10 people probably, and then at the last half hour, an extra maybe 5 people came, and they were actually into it and stuff, so it made it a lot of fun. And they were dancing and singing and all that, so it was good. It was one of the better Houdinis shows. The next morning, I slept for about 2 hours between the Houdini show and the next morning show, which wasn't like a farmer's market early, but I mean, it was started at 11, played till 12:30, and slept 2 hours. So, I mean, it was a little rough. Gotta say, I wasn't really totally feeling the lack of sleep till the second Saturday show. But I think overall that was probably the best one of the weekend, was that morning show. I don't know, I just felt really warmed up. Low sounded real good. Didn't use my in-ears. Just felt really comfortable. Wasn't overbearingly loud. I think the crowd was pretty subdued. Got lots of compliments. I just feel like it's really comfortable and kind of smooth sailing. And I don't know. We've had some Destihl shows that didn't go that way. So it was nice to actually have one that did. And so I don't know. Made some okay tips, and people were pretty generous in general. And then there was a band after us that played, and they were super good. They I don't know. They did 3-part harmony. I'm trying to remember their name. It was New Soul, maybe. I think that's who it was. I could probably look here while I'm talking, but they killed it, really. Their sound setup wasn't, left some stuff to be desired, and I was a little like, oh, this is what's this gonna be like? And then they just murdered it. So it was like they didn't even need anything fancy to sound great with their 3-part harmony. And the one of the main guys was doing looping for their percussion, which I thought was pretty cool. He did a good job with that. And it was called New Souls. And they were doing a lot of wouldn't be genres that I would cover at all. It was kind of some soul style stuff, and some what else? They did some Prince, and I don't know, it was all pop covers kind of, but from the 70s, maybe 80s area. But just really solid, a lot of fun. I was kind of definitely feeling it a little bit towards the end of that show, how tired I was, or towards their performance. And so then I rushed back to the house, and then I realized that they had paid me the wrong check. So that was kind of a a thing that happened that I couldn't cash it because it was made out wrong. So then I had to go back on Monday to get that all kind of squared away. But, it was fine. It was just one tiny thing. And we got a ton of we had like a really good lunch on them, which was pretty cool. And it was just good. It was a fun show. I was thinking the next show would be better, and as they normally do, and got there, and there was a giant staircase to bring all my gear up of, which was a little bit daunting, I'd say. So I kind of packed light. Didn't really do like the full crazy setup, and it was just like they had an upstairs and a downstairs, and there was nobody upstairs when I got there. And so I was like, uh-oh, are people gonna show up? And wasn't very busy. I mean, I had two people for the first like hour of the performance, and they were super. I mean, they were very nice to let me have their attention for, a full hour. They ended up staying the whole time, which I just like did not expect. I felt like they felt maybe obligated to stay there, but yeah, they only had nice things to say at the end, and they were there the whole time, even when other people showed up and kind of were into it when they easily could have left, and they stayed the whole time, which was awesome. And then the people that came were very nice too. I will say I felt funky. I don't know what was really going on, but it was almost like I felt like I could sing. Like I was going way sharp on everything, like overshooting all my notes. And I think it was just because I was so warmed up from the show earlier, and it just felt weird. But that show was like, it was like night and day difference, because it was like, in that show, the Destihl one, it was a big open hall, kind of boomy, and big open space. Whereas this show was like a tiny, essentially like a giant living room, with hard surfaces. So just like the sound was so different, even though it was the exact same sound setup. I was using the same gear essentially. Tried to be kind of quieter, but it just felt like I kept not hitting my notes quite right. But the people that were listening didn't seem to notice. They were very, very complimentary and super nice and saying nice things. And because I ended up, in my breaks, I talked to a lot of them, and they were, I don't know, there was this one lady that was a drummer, and she was pretty enthused about the foot drums I think I was doing, as well as singing and playing, and she had listened to some of the songs before they came, and she was, said she liked them. And there was another group that was into a lot of the covers I was doing, and there's another couple groups that came in and out kind of throughout. So, I mean, it ended up, like a really good show. I don't feel like I performed great. And I ended up playing an extra, I kind of snapped into gear like that last hour a little bit more so. And they were, finally into what I was doing. And I had played a lot of originals, which was cool. But, yeah, so it was like, it was kind of, I don't know, I feel, when you go into a show and you think nobody's going to show up, and then 8 people actually do show up, 8, 10, whatever it was, it's like such a feeling of relief. Because I figured, this was my first show at this place, Buzz Bomb Brewing in Springfield, and I was like, oh, well, they're never going to have me back. And then people show up, and it's like, oh, well, maybe, and they enjoyed it. It was like, very visibly could tell that they were having a good time. As well as the bartender that was working. He seemed to think I was doing okay as well. So, it's just like such a relief that it doesn't even matter at a certain point. You're just like happy to be there, happy somebody showed up. Like if it's funny because, if I was playing a show and it started with 8 people, I would probably be in a similar headspace than when there's nobody, because that's, not a huge difference in the scheme of things. Like, I wouldn't have appreciated those 8 people quite as much, which, is probably my mistake. I probably should, no matter what, be excited that anybody's there to watch. But anyway, so it was, I had to, like, really be on top of my singing for some reason that night. But overall, it was good. I ended up playing for 4 hours. And it was, it was a rough day, ultimately, just physically, but, because I hadn't slept, like I was saying. But I got through it. I think everything went well from Friday to Saturday night. So, and it was a very financially beneficial weekend, so, and I don't know, everything lined up pretty okay. And, so yeah, that's kind of it for the shows last weekend. I've been working on getting Misery from Left out this week, which has been more of a struggle. Longer song, and I'm trying to do the 2 angles on the camera, so getting those edited right has just been not my favorite thing, but I don't know. I think I got it close enough on the editing, and I've had other people look at it, and I think it's okay, but I still think it's a little off. But don't tell anybody. But I don't think the performance of that song was amazing anyway, so it's going to be like the last one on the list. But still have one more. I'll do When You're Gone, but I'm not going to do the 2 camera angles. I'm just going to try to make it so you can hear the foot drums. I feel like I sang it okay enough. Got Good Friends done, finally. Did that on Friday before my show last week. So that's going to be coming out soon. Pretty pumped about that. I'm going to have to get a music video together before, I do like the big release, but I think that's going to end up and be cool. So I'm really looking forward to that. This week, tonight, I'm playing at, where am I tonight? I'm at Hungry Moose in Peoria. And then I picked up a little pop-up show tomorrow at Uptown Normal at the Coffee House. In some morning, kind of 11 to, I'll probably do 11 to 2, just tips only, but, take what I can get. So I'm looking forward to that. As always, I appreciate anybody who takes the time to listen, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks. Have a good one.